Welcome to this season of the Broadway Podcast, where here we give you a more real-time point of view of people who work, interact, and entertain here in Broadway, Nashville. We get the opportunity to provide hot gossip, but we also take the opportunity to provide a more positive outlook on people who call Nashville their home. Ride with us as we take you down a trip on Broadway.
This is the life we choose, life we choose. And honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way. I've been doing just fine, alright now. This is the life we choose. This is the life we choose.
Cool.
So Ava, thanks for coming to my show, babe. I really appreciate it. I kind of wanted to talk to you about this venture with the book.
Yes.
Can you want to like kind of elaborate on like what's going on with that and like what
Yeah.
really kind of like motivated you to do that?
Yeah. Well, also, thanks for having me.
Oh, you're
I'm like
welcome.
so excited to be
It's
here.
my pleasure.
So the book is Diaries of a Broadway Bartender.
Mhm.
It's coming out in 2025. Right now it's projected to come out in March.
Mhm.
I don't know if like whenever we worked together, we honestly ever really got to talk about this, but like I was genuinely born to be a writer. It's always been my passion. It's always been what I love to do. I went to school for journalism. And honestly, like I always saw myself writing. My dream place to live is New York. My favorite shows growing up were Sex and the City and Gossip Girl
Period, I
because there's
love
so
it.
much journalism and
Yeah.
I don't know, it just always like fed my inspiration. Even still to this day, you know, I keep Sex and the City in the background at my house, just going and playing all the time. So I've always been so fascinated with the concept of writing. I just love it. But I never thought that I could like write books. To me, I don't know, it was just a far-fetched idea. And where do you even start? Like, I don't
Right.
even know the first thing to do. And I just started doing it. I just started writing it. And as I started working my way through it, you know, naturally, I think the process just started coming to me and like what I was supposed to do, you know, the tools that I needed to pursue in order to make the book happen. So yeah, now here we are today. And
What inspired that? Like, what made you like say, "This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm gonna write about"? The experiences I've had in Nashville or wherever,
yeah.
it drove me to come to this place.
Okay. So honestly, a lot of things. First things first, I will give credit where credit's due. Whenever I started writing the book, I was in a relationship with someone who had been on Broadway for quite some time. And they did fuel a little bit of inspiration in regards to like the concept of like female bartending, because it was just always something that, like I talked about, I would see the craziest things. And sometimes you know, like obviously you experience
Right.
it. You're like, I literally can't believe that this is real. And I would write about it just like in my journal, in my diary. And so the inspiration kind of came from that. And the book was originally written on this plot. It was like a Broadway tour where you went through 8 different bars and I interviewed a person anonymously to represent each bar.
Yeah.
That person was anonymous in the book as well, just like out of respect for them and also out of respect for any, you know, contractual agreements. But then the more that I was writing it, the more I think it didn't necessarily feel true to me. And I was also going through different things in my life. And for me, like humor has always been a big escape. And so I wanted to kind of make the book very humorous. And so
Yeah.
I completely changed the plot actually. And the inspiration that came from it was based on the quote, "Are you just a bartender?" So
Oh my God.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's
remember there was one shift that I was working and I was it was like a really slow Wednesday night. And I remember there were these dudes, they were pilots and they came in. And they asked me like, "Oh, are you just a bartender?" And it made me so mad
Like,
that
what does that
day.
even mean?
Literally, like, what does it even mean? And
Right.
it made me so mad that day. We'll get a little deep here for a second. At the time, I was going through a lot in my life, like my dad was sick at the time. He was moving into palliative care. My stepmom was in hospice. This was before they passed. And so I really kept bartending, one, because money, and like I wanted the flexibility so that I could be present with them. Like my sister was already locked in a corporate job. My brother was in college, and I wanted the flexibility to be able to be present with them. And bartending offered that to me. Yeah. And so I remember coming from, like, I'd literally been at my stepmom's hospice facility before this shift. And I'm sitting there and he says that, and it made me so mad because
it triggered you a little bit.
It triggered me. Yeah. And I was just like, no. And at this point, I was already writing the book, and the book was, to bring respect for everyone that is working in the service industry and why they're there. It's a means to an end. And I've met so many people that have all these other things going on outside of bartending. And also, if you do love to bartend, if that's just what you like to do, why the fuck does it matter?
Why is it a big deal?
Why is it a big deal? Yeah. But something I would notice, because I was pretty young as well when I started on Broadway, and I would notice that whenever I'd be out with some of my friends that were a little bit older and someone would say like, oh, what do you do? There was always a little bit of like subtle shame when I heard them respond with the answer bartending. And I wanted the book to create a safe space for anyone that's in the service industry, why they're there. You don't know why they're there. I have worked with so many teachers that they literally can't support themselves or children on that salary. Yeah. And so, it was really written to create a safe space.
And moms too.
And moms. Yeah. And to respect why people are there, and to, stop judging people based on what's the surface. And that's why I anonymously interviewed all these people. But the more I got to thinking about it, and what felt true to me, I realized it really was spun off of this interaction with those dudes. And so I completely changed the plot, and I started writing it from a very feminine point of view. It's very Sex and the City, very Carrie Bradshaw. It's kind of just like my subconscious speaking throughout the whole book, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah.
And there's a subtleness to it where it's like, okay, you're sitting here and you're this like corporate man, you're judging me, or you're a pilot, you have a good job, whatever. You're judging me, asking me if I'm just a bartender, when half the time these men are wearing wedding rings. Yes. And they're hitting on you the second that their wife literally walks to the bathroom. But you're degrading me because I'm bartending and you don't know anything about me. You don't know why I'm here. And so, I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk shit about the ones who talk shit about us. And I'm going to tell on them. I'm going to tell them the tea. I'm going to talk about all the dudes who I've watched cheat on their wives, all the dudes that have hit on me with a wedding ring on, the things that they say to me. I'm going to talk shit because they talk shit about us.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love the fact that like you're giving it from a woman's point of view, because I think Alexis was talking to me about like how shallow it is in Nashville to like be a woman and bartend on Broadway. Because I can only imagine how many creeps come to you guys and say the weirdest things all the time, and like nothing is done about it. No. So like just being able to like spill that, information out to the world is almost kind of like a help for some people. Because like I think we had like a meeting at work about sexual harassment and like how to deal with it, and like if our guests needed help and stuff like that. I think that it's very important for a woman to like be able to come to the table and say, hey, this is how we feel about certain stuff, because honestly, like you guys are kind of like are the more population downtown. Right. Guy bartenders versus girl bartenders is like staggered. Yeah. So I feel like it's very important for y'all's safety.
It is.
So do you have like the idea behind it was bartending and like the experiences behind bartending. Mm-hmm. Do you have some stuff in there that you want to talk about that like kind of like resonates more than the others?
Yeah. I mean, we can like tell a juicy story from the book. Like I can, talk about like one of the chapters or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let's think. Like, what's a good one? Okay. All right. I don't know. So there was this individual takes up 4 chapters of the book because
the fact that individual.
We needed to. Yeah. So, and also funny thing about the book is that all the dudes in the book, I don't name names. I gave them all dog names because that's what they are. They're dogs. So they all have dog names. So this chapter,
it's spicy.
I know. This chapter, I gave this guy, I named him Buster, and the chapter is called Busted because he literally got busted. So I met this guy. It was like a Wednesday night. It was a really slow shift. It was like mid-March. And I had like picked up the shift or something, and I walk up there, and there's like this huge corporate party, right? And these are all very handsome men, you know, they all look very charming, brown hair, suit, you know, they all seem really nice. None of them are like shit-faced or anything, holding their composure. So they were actually from a real estate company based out in Canada, and so they were in town for a conference. Well, this one guy starts talking to me, and he's like making conversation, and again, he's kind of just like the rest of them. He's charming, seems really nice, and I was actually getting off at 7, so I was only working that shift for like 2 hours because they were closing the roof. So this guy is like, hey, if you want, would you want to go like get a bite to eat or something when you get off, or like go get a drink or whatever? And I was kind of at this point in my life where I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Why not? Like, I asked, sure. I was like, you're single, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because again, at this point, I think I was like, I was fresh out of a breakup, and also just, you know, a lot of shit happened in life, respectfully.
He's like, entertain me, please. I need something.
So I was like, you know what? Whatever. I don't really care. I'm in this like, fuck it. I'm living my life and I'm having fun and YOLO. So, him and I get off the shift, and we had talked about my book, and he was like, take me to one of the bars in your book. And I was like, okay, cool. So I take him to the Stage, which is one of the bars. Obviously, it's in my book. I take him there, and you know, we're in there. We're like actually having a lot of fun. Like he's
the
funny.
Stage is fun too, though.
The stage is fun.
I love it.
We're like having a great time. I like introduced him to like a couple of my bartender friends over there, and you know, kiss, everything like that. Like don't go home with him or anything. But he even like books a berries class to work out with me the next day, right? Okay. After this, he like goes home, and he, you know, continues to text me, and like I wasn't really engaging that much. And then one day I get a call from a number in Canada, and I don't even think I had his number saved. I think it just said like maybe. So I wasn't sure if it was him. So I like so I just like ignored it. And then I get a text, and it's like, hey girl, this is blah blah blah, Buster's fiance. Do you think that like we could talk and like you could tell me what's going on? I'm like, oh my gosh, of course. So she calls me up, and I literally just like tell her everything, and she's like, yeah, we've been together for like 2.5 years. We just bought a condo together. We've been looking at wedding rings. This dude literally told her that he was like completely sober. Like she's like sending me screenshots of her texts, and he's like completely gaslighting the fuck out of her. Is like, you're acting insane. I'm literally like, I've only had 1 glass of wine. Meanwhile, he was literally ripping shots at whenever I was on this shift. And I was like, what? So yeah, anyways, he like texts me again, and I was like, you're sick. And I was like, get help. And he's like, it's complicated. And I'm like, what's complicated?
How is it complicated? You have a house with somebody, you're engaged with somebody. There's nothing complicated about that. That's
literally what I said. I said, you're sick, you need to get help. What's complicated about it? I was like, you just bought a house with someone. I was like, seems like you really like dodged a bullet or fumbled the bag. That like she dodged a bullet. And this girl is beautiful. Drop dead. Like when I saw a photo of her, my jaw literally dropped. And then when I spoke to her, I was like, this is the sweetest
and she was kind.
girl.
She reached out to you.
Oh, she was
like,
so
hey, girl.
kind.
Like, that was very like unaggressive.
Yeah. She was so kind. And I was like, I will tell you everything. Because I'm like, I do not stand for skanks. And he's a skank. So yeah, I mean, all in all, and then actually me and the girl, we like still stay in touch. We like text, and
that's scary.
I know, but she's honestly like, she's so sweet. And we kind of just like after that, we would just continue to randomly have like organic conversation and kind of just naturally became like
I mean, friends. You obviously have things in common. You like the same guy, so why not? But I feel like that's the motive of guys in Nashville that come to visit. Like they come here with agendas, and like they come with fakeness, and they act like a different person. They leave their lives behind and come here and just like wreck shop and think it's okay and leave. And like it's probably almost due time for people to like get called out on it.
Yeah.
The book, I think the book is good. I think the book is it's kind of scary a little bit to think, because are you scared the repercussions of like some of the chapters in your book?
So the book is written in a very specific way to avoid repercussions. So every bar is anonymous, and the book is filled.
Not the bars though, the guys.
The guys and the bars. So I don't list the bar names, but I do drop hints as to what bar you're in. Yeah. So like, for example, for one of them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I say the bar with like the big tractor in the center of the floor. So, you know,
That's so obvious though.
So obvious. However,
it's scary. Are you not? Because like, honestly, like, it's almost like a memoir.
Yeah.
I think. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, like, I'm proud of it, and I think it's necessary, but I'd be so terrified.
Yeah.
To like, because we're still in the area and the atmosphere, and we still have like, you know, that around us. Are you not, like, I don't know, like, you tell me, like, how do you feel about it? Like, do you feel like relief from, you know, writing this? Because I feel like if it's a relief thing, then like I honestly understand.
Yeah.
But I also would be like kind of like worried too, kind of. I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, there definitely was some fears, like, you know, fears over definitely, you know, repercussions, people's opinions and legalities. So, you know, I made sure that I pursued all my avenues to make sure that, one, I wasn't crossing any legalities. So I read contracts through and through, would talk to attorneys, do everything just to make sure that I was okay. And then as far as, you know, the opinions or any repercussions for that, I honestly, the second that I started writing it in that kind of way, all those fears kind of went out the window, because I realized that really I'm empowering like women, and I'm empowering males too. I'm empowering anyone that's on that street that is ever being disrespected by a tourist. And if they don't like, you know,
or by anybody, to be honest.
Or by anybody, to be honest. And so really, I'm not scared anymore, because I am so happy to, and I do find relief in feeling like whenever women or even men, whenever they read this book, anyone that works downtown or in the service industry, I think that they're going to get such a sense of empowerment. And that's really what I want. Like, I want the book to empower people, and I want it to make them proud of their title and where they're going in their life. I want them to be proud of being kind of in the middle, and also feeling like that there's kind of someone speaking up for a lot of the shit that we deal with, you know, because I know you experience it too.
Oh,
you know, it doesn't just happen to women that are like sexualized and ridiculed or talked down upon. It happens to men too, and I know you experience it. For sure. And so it's like, I'm really excited to kind of bring that space to a lot of people that like I have worked with for a long time, worked with prior, or even haven't gotten the chance to work with, and I just kind of, you know, everyone on Broadway just knows everyone. So I'm really excited about it.
I like that response, because like, I love that response, because honestly, at the end of the day, like, when you stand up for something that you feel like is necessary, then everything else outside of that doesn't really matter. Yeah. I think that's a good thing, good stance to have, because the experiences are real, whether you like them or not. They're real experiences, and you got to deal with them. Yeah. You know, you can take a side, left or right. That's on you, but feeling okay with what you produced is all that matters. So what's the next chapter? Are you going to write off another book, or like, what are you doing? Like, is it going to be a spinoff book? Like, and like, tell me.
Okay, so I don't know if I will have a spinoff book of Diaries of a Broadway Bartender, but I actually am writing another book that will actually come out at the same time of Diaries of a Broadway Bartender. And the foundation of that was really the foundation of my brand. That book is called The Other Side. It's a memoir. It's low-key depressing, but it's also, again, it's very empowering, very nostalgic, and it's this guide on essentially making it to the other side of a tragedy. But it's also very deep-rooted in like your life's purpose, and really speaks to the truth that a full life consists of hardships, mourning, grief, trial, because to know those things, you had to experience a lot of great things in life. You had to experience love, joy, peace, comfort. And so Yeah, that book is going to come out actually at the same time. And the foundation of that was that growing up, I always had 2 journals. So I had one where it was kind of just like my subconscious, very much so rooted how Diaries of a Broadway Bartender is, just kind of word vomit, like he's a pig, you know, whatever, like
fuck that guy,
like he's a skank. And then I always had another journal where I would kind of sit down and make life make sense. I would bring my trials to this place and I would pray over them, do whatever it was that kind of made life make sense to me. And I really believe in the duality in life of pursuing humor and then also, you know, living a life of intention. I think even my dad always gave me the advice, pursue humor in your life because it's hard and you're going to need it. So
I'm so proud of you. Just listening to you, I'm like, oh my God. Because I never in a million years thought that, like, don't take this the wrong way. Like, you have substance. Like, I mean, like, that's not a derogatory thing at all. It's like just having the opportunity to sit here and talk to you about, like, that experience seems so genuine and so real to me. Like, I understand everything you're saying. Yeah. And I'm accepting it for what it is. Like, there's no judgment. It's like very clean slate. I love it. Like, just to see this side of you just is refreshing. I love it. Like, I'm so proud of you. I want to say that. I want to stop and say that. Like, I love you. I love it because, like, you're giving me a different side of Ava that I never knew. And you give me real experiences that we all kind of like share. Yeah. I think it's brilliant, man. I think it's great. I'm excited. I love it, man. I love it. I want to hear more about it. I want to see more about it. Yeah. I think when you said the memoir thing and like how you was writing diaries, I remember reading something on I think Instagram you posted. Yeah. You're like, oh, I started journaling and da da da, and like, no offense, I was like, girl, you ain't journaling. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, because I mean, like, I don't know that Ava. I don't know that Ava. Now I do. So I'm like, girl, whatever. And then I just keep seeing the consistency. I'm like, all right, she has something to say about it. Yeah. You know, and then I was talking to Neil about it earlier. It's like consistency. Like, when you really want something in your life, the outside noise doesn't matter, man. No. Like my podcast, like we were saying earlier, it's already big in my mind. Because that's how you have to approach stuff. Like, you have to be able to, like, already be in that setting.
Visualization. Exactly. It literally is manifestation.
You have to manifest it, man. Ralphie has me on that whole rock thing. Like, he has me, like, praying around my house and stuff. Like, it's crazy. It's so funny. Because he approached me in that way. Like, he was like, you need to start buying, like, rocks. And, like, you need to start, like burning like Palo Santo and stuff. I'm like, whatever, dude. And then I started doing it, and I'm like, I got into it. I'm like, all right, cool. I feel like I'm cleaner now. Like, I don't know. I love that. So so you said it comes out in 2025. 2025. Is there a set date for it or?
So it will be sometime in March, and that is subjected to change. Just like if there's any issues with print, because obviously, like the book will be sent off. The design for the cover backs, those will be sent off, and like, you know, you want to like leave room for any trial and error whenever you get like the sample back. You know, maybe you don't like the hardback, so again, it's subjected to possibly be changed, but right now, if the print stays on course and if it comes back and everything looks good, then it'll be March.
Do you have an editor? Like, who's doing your editing and stuff like that? Are you just solely you? Like, everything's on you?
So the majority of it is on me. I have hired a few editors to proofread the book just because, like, I've read it so many times at this point. So it's gone through now 2 editing processes, and I want to hire 3 more editors. They say standard, you know, to make sure that you're really glossing over everything is to hire about 5 people to edit.
This is an intense process.
It's a really intense process. And like, sure, you can, you know, throw something in Chat GPT, but that is completely different, and you really do want to send it off to an editor because you want a clean set of eyes reading it and someone able to tell you, okay, wait, this doesn't make sense to me. This does make sense. I think you should tweak this. And you want a non-biased opinion, and you want a personal read on it. So
that's why it's taking so long. Because I was like 2025, like, damn, girl,
I've been writing it for over a year. I know, right? I've been writing it for over a year.
That's crazy to me. So you were writing when you were working with me then? You started then?
I just started then,
Yeah, I love it. I feel like it's therapeutic, isn't it, to you?
It is, because I love writing. Yeah. I've like, anyone who like knows me knows my escape is literally writing. If you're in my life, and if you're literally, I'm a big acts of service person. That's probably my love language. Anyone that's close to me, you're going to have a letter. You're going to have a collection of letters actually that I'm going to write you. And I don't go I don't go a week or even more than 3 days of my life without journaling. It's all I have journaled religiously every week of my life. Yeah. I've had a journal every single year of my life since I was like 5. And then in high school, I would share blogs, and, you know, just share them with like my close community. And I remember actually, so at my dad's funeral, I spoke. And I knew that this was a sign to keep chasing my dreams and to keep going for it, because I had gotten offered my book deal a couple months before my dad passed away. And that was such a beautiful experience it's something I was so excited that he got to be a part of watching. But after he passed, I kind of was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do life anymore for a second. And I thought I need to take a break on something, and I still need to pay my bills too. So I thought for a second that maybe I would step back and give myself a few months to kind of pull myself together, and then I would come back maybe to the book. I really wasn't sure. And I remember speaking at my dad's funeral, and every single person that spoke to me after the funeral was like, please tell me you're a writer. Please tell me that you're going to be a writer one day, or that you work in a writing field. And it wasn't, I didn't feel this like sense of gratification in any kind of like vain way. Yeah. I felt so appreciative of the words and signs of confirmation that I did not need to give up on my dreams. And I felt that that was my dad speaking through all those people, like, do not give up, keep going. And so again, these books have been written in a really hard time of my life. Yeah. And I want to also empower people through that too. I want people to know life can be so hard. You can feel like every odd is stacked against you. Financially, mentally, physically, I was just drained. Like, I just seriously thought my life was turned upside down. And so I want people to feel that empowerment too. Like, even when you feel that all odds are stacked against you, please never give up on yourself, because at the end of the day, that's going to be your asset to healing.
I can tell. I can feel you right now. And you lost your mom and your dad?
So my stepmom had passed away in August. It just marked a year, actually, August 24th. Yeah. And she basically was like my mom. She's been in my life since I was 4 or 5 years old. And then, my dad followed her on January 18th. And I'd been in a relationship as well. And that relationship ended the week of my dad's passing. And I was starting a new job at the same time. I had to move homes the week after my dad died. And I obviously didn't plan that out. And so it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know this world I'm walking in. Right. Like, I don't know this house that I'm in. I don't know this new job that I'm at. My family dynamic is completely different. My relationship with myself, like I don't have my partner anymore. It was so hard. And then naturally, I think when you go through like a breakup or anything like that, it's natural that you guys shared friends together. And I simply just kind of distanced myself from a side of my life that meant so much to me. It was a respect thing too, of like, this person's, been in this world for a while, and it was a respect thing. And also just like, I needed separation to I think heal. And so, it was, these books, they mean a lot to me.
They saved your life a little bit, huh?
Yeah, they did.
I feel like
they did. Like whenever you said that, like, makes me feel a little emotional, because they really did. They were all that I had. Yeah. When I really felt like I didn't have anything.
You did a really good job, man. Like, I saw the transition from certain things, certain situations, whatever, and then I remember you talking about like your dad being sick and stuff like that. But I wasn't really close. We weren't really that close. We were just like in passing, whatever. But I remember you talking about it. And then eventually, it led to like him passing away and stuff like that. And then I was like, she is still put together? Like, how the fuck is she doing with this right now? Like,
I wasn't.
And then I think obviously not, but like, I was like, how the hell is she here right now, serving tables, still looking prim and proper, and like being nice and smiley, not lashing out on the back? Because people deal with trauma differently. Yeah. And I just felt like I didn't feel the trauma, because like I was like, she's not showing us any emotion, which is good. Like at work, it's work. But I can only imagine. And now, like, sitting back and reflecting on, like, you writing a book, and, like, you're writing 2 books at the same time, moving to jobs, ending a relationship that was kind of serious, and just, like, filtering, like, all your emotions into, like, something that make you feel better. that's mind blowing to me. Like I never would have thought in a million years that was going on. Like that was actually your life, and to come out on the other side of it and like be like, yeah, I'm empowering women, I'm empowering men, I'm doing this. I'm like, I love it. It's like one of the most heartfelt episodes I've had. Like, I'm not gonna cry here, bitch. Like, you're not gonna make me cry.
I'm sorry.
Like, but I love it because, like, I feel it. Like I said, I feel you. Like I said, it saved your life because, like, this podcast means a lot to me because it's like, I want people to see a different side of David that they don't get to see on a daily basis. Like, I'm so much more than the outside shell. You're so much more, obviously, than the outside shell. You're filtering. You're writing a whole fucking book. I can't even write a sentence, let alone a book. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm so proud of that. And I want you to continuously share it. That's why I was so happy to have you on the show. I'm like, she has some stuff going on. Because I've been following you for a little bit. I'm like, I got my eye on you, girl. What's going on? And at first, I was like, eye roll. Because you know how it is at first. We're so face value in Nashville. Right. We're so shaded. We're so all the things. I'm like, all right, is she really serious? And then I kept seeing it. I'm like, damn, she is actually doing some stuff. And I saw it, and I saw you. I think I saw you at Garth Brooks one night.
Oh, yeah.
On the rooftop. I'm like, can I please have you on my show? Like, I want to talk about it because, like, I feel like it's now interesting. And then the fact that I got a little insight of, like, what's going on, I kind of want more. Like, I want to see what the other side looks like for Ava.
That's
so
literally
proud,
the title
man.
of my second book.
I know. I want to see what the other side looks like. Like I'm curious. I'm hungry for it. You're doing such a good job, and just keep up with it, man. Because like it's necessary. Yeah. And it, like I said, like I feel like it's saving your life a little bit. Yeah. Because going through something like that, I can tell like what's really strenuous. And
it was soul
we
shattering.
can be biased in people. Like sometimes Nashville is a very biased town. Yeah. People pick sides. People. Do things that they probably regret like years later. Yeah. And just to have a voice, like this show is about having a voice and having an opinion and letting people see the other side of it and having an opportunity to be able to speak your piece. Yeah. I'm so happy that you got to do that today. Like I really, really, really am happy that you got to do that today. I gotta stop talking to you because you're gonna have me cry, man. Like this is such a good episode. I love it, man. Let me know when it comes out so I can have the first copy. I want you to sign it, and I want you to do good things in life, man. I'm so proud of you. And I love you. And I want to say too, before we end, I'm extremely proud of you. And I love how you kept making the comment, like, this is a space that you want to see a different side of people. And because same, like, I would have never thought that this would have been something that you would have done, but like, you're so good at it. You're so I'm trying. This is perfect for you. Yeah. And I just want to say too, like, you're so right. We only do see the face value people, like how even you made a comment and you're like, when we worked together, you would see this prim and proper version of me that wasn't unleashing trauma, but really like my books and even what I would want to say on here, and I'm sure what we all experience as people, is that my books are really to show the messy side. And there definitely was I love a messy side. There was a messy side of me that had my moments, especially after my dad passed, that did lash out, that trauma really came out. And so I just want to bring light to like, you know, the messy and find beauty in it. And I'm really proud of you because I think that this is going to be a table where people are able to show this like authentic version of themselves. Yeah. And like you said, Nashville is so face value. So you're filling a void that is like very absent. Very necessary. And I'm proud of you. You're going, babe. I already envision your podcast. It's already there. As being like, I really do. I envision it as being huge. Like I really do. God damn it. Like I'm a big personality. I'm fucking full of bullshit. I'm so like animated. Like it has to pop off. It has to. But then it also already has. Exactly. Yeah. It already has. Yeah. I seriously, like, every time I see you post, I'm like, I see it as something so huge. Like, you're incredible. That means a lot. And everything looks so amazing and so professional. Antonio is the mind behind it, man. I'm so appreciative of him, man. I love him to death. He's so patient with me. And I don't give him enough credit, actually. I don't give him enough credit for what he does. Like, it takes a lot to be my friend, on top of being a business partner. Like, it takes a lot. Yeah. Any of my friends can attest, like, I am a bunch to handle, but it's good, you know. I'm happy where we are. So like I said, I'm happy where you are too. And then when that book comes out, I better be the first person to get a book because like I really want to read. I don't read a lot, but I would read your book because it's gonna speak to me. It's gonna talk to a lot of people. It's gonna resonate. And keep advertising it, man, because like I think people are more intrigued than they were before. I surely am. And I appreciate you for being here and like taking the time out to like show your side of the story.
Yeah.
Like, I really appreciate that for sure.
I love you. Thanks
I love
for
you.
having me on.
Absolutely, anytime. Cheers, babe.
Cheers
Hell
to the
yeah.
hair of the dog today.
This is the life we choose. Life we choose. And honestly, I wouldn't